It's time to get super selfish. And that doesn't mean you have to become some dreadful person, but taking care of yourself truly is the bare minimum in life. Uh, and even if you're religious, you could use the fact that God helps those who help themselves. So no matter what, you should really be taking care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, I'm not talking about creating comfort for yourself and just being like, yeah, my brain's not exploding on a day-to-day basis because I'm triggering little needs here and there. But the truth is you have to really take care of yourself. And I've heard quite a bit of people use the idea that you should take care of yourself like you're your own child. And the problem with that, I would say, is most people don't really take very good care of their kids. So if you're taking care of yourself like you're taking care of your kids, then I mean, I can see why we're all a little bit struggling. Eating healthy, and I'm not talking about what people overcomplicate as eating healthy. Like you don't need to be doing some extra level shit to be eating healthy. You just need to not eat consistently over processed shit. Maybe not have your diet be 50% plus sugars, and drink some water. From there, you're already ahead of the masses. It's not that fucking hard. So, excuse me. Making sure that your headspace is okay. Like, the only person responsible for regulating your headspace is you. And it's definitely kind of the people around you to offer you a lending hand and essentially hear you out, give you a hug, be a shoulder to cry on. But it's not other people's job to fix you. And this is where the really frustrating one comes in, is even people that have hurt you, it's not their job to help fix you. And also, if you really think about it, why would you want their help anyway? If somebody did that much damage to you in life, trust me, you probably don't want help rebuilding. So from there, you really just need to lock in on yourself, like yourself. And that's such a weird concept. Like, I'm currently trying to figure out what that still means. It's like to be a healthy level of selfish, because I think especially if you are a woman, you probably are trained to have people pleasing qualities. And I realized that being a people pleaser really goes to deep levels. Like, even when you're trying to not be a people pleaser, at times when you think about it in your head, it's like, I know that being a people pleaser is not necessarily actually pleasing people, because I'm unhappy. So I'm going to go out of my way to stop trying to please people. So I'm just going to just go against everything. Some people skip that phase. I went through that phase where it's like you just always have to go against every single grain, because you don't want to be like a people pleaser. But it's so backwards. But even down to little things, like I had a talk with my grandma about functions and holidays where it was just kind of like, if you don't want to go to stuff because it's a lot for you, then don't. And I felt really conflicted about it, because I was like, well, out of respect for you, I want to go. But I realize is that it's just me trying to please her, and I'm using it, like I'm coding it with respect, even though, I mean, it's definitely a form of respect, but it's like saying, is our specific example was, I want to spend actual Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at my house alone, and then I'll come on another day and kind of do the family things. And that's totally fine. But you can't, when you do what you want to do, you can't get upset if somebody gets disappointed. So, like, you really have to hone in on what it is that you want and what you want to do, because sometimes, it might disappoint some people. It could potentially at times piss off people. I mean, other people's reaction to you doing well in life is not really your problem, even though it's going to be something you have to deal with. So that is where I would say just really making sure that you're doing what is right for you, because some of the bare minimums, like I know I mentioned a second ago, eating healthy, but eating healthy, moving your body, making sure your nervous system isn't completely shot, that really is the bare minimum. And nowadays, that's like the max. It's like if you're doing that, you're doing the most. And a lot of that would be probably, we can blame society and whatever, but we've built it and we choose to participate in it, and we can choose to participate like in the action of not participating, whatever you want to say there. But it's like, another thing too is, even with friends, I've noticed that sometimes I am not necessarily connecting with people, say my age, but so well. And it can be a little discouraging, but at the same time, like, you don't want to force friendships and connections. It's kind of nice to just be comfortable being by yourself and really enjoying being alone. I feel like when you can enjoy being alone, you can find a lot of fun activities and learn a lot about yourself that can kind of guide you in life in a direction that actually works for you, instead of continuing to follow the bandwagon, if you will, or hop on the bandwagon. Taking care of yourself is kind of a bare minimum. And part of taking care of yourself is literally like being self-sufficient and sustaining. And I'm not referring to homesteading and growing your own food. I'm talking about like not being so needy, not walking around and being just like a hazard or a liability to society yourself. Like having a regulated nervous system, and I would say not, the next one I'm saying is being in shape, but like being in shape isn't really, I think, what, maybe that's not the way to describe it. It's just like not completely not taking care of yourself in any like facet. I don't know, so many people just like complain about they don't feel good and they feel really bad. And I don't really need to go into details about this because it's just pretty common and almost comical, but like people do it to themselves. Like you have bad habits. You don't eat good, you don't move. And it's like relationships, like the relationships you have in your life, regulate that shit. Create boundaries. If you can't create boundaries with other people, well, you probably cannot create boundaries with yourself. So I would say if you're just having so many issues with other people, unless it's like blatantly obvious, go have a internal look-see, figure out what you need to address, what you have going on, because you need to take care of you. And that's like, what is bothering you, if it starts bleeding into other areas of your life, or if there's a person that you don't like being around, even if it is something where it's like, that says more about you than it does about them. Okay. Maybe it means that you just don't like them that much, and that's okay. Don't force yourself to be around people you don't like. You don't have to like everybody, and you don't have to be mean people, but it's not really what this is about. But like, do what you need to do for you and really get selfish about it. And it's like, if somebody wants you to do something and it's not going to work for you, or honestly, I take that back. It doesn't have to not work for you. Let's just say you don't want to do it. You just don't want to. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to not want to do something for somebody. And I don't know. I don't think that really affects how good or bad of a person you are. I heard a quote recently, and I guess we'll call it a quote. I don't know who said it, but he said, don't like go out of your way to do nice or kind things for people that don't have respect for you. And it kind of got my brain churning, is like, how frequently do we do things because we're just kind of like, oh, well, you know, it would make them happy, or, you know, I'm gonna because of them. And no. Stop because of them, because of other people. What about you? What about you? What are you thinking? What do you want to do? And if you don't want to do something, well, like, I guess simply put is, if it's going to absolutely tear somebody to shreds because of how you choose to exist in life, that actually, I would say, says more about them than it does about you, as long as you're not acting with malicious intent. And if you live either for other people or just trying to fit with other people, you won't ever actually truly be happy. And most people in this life, I've come to realize, don't always get to be blessed with being but so happy. But I think that's, to an extent, our choice. Some of us get dealt bad hands, and that's a real thing. But a lot of us choose to be unhappy, choose to let bad habits get them to a certain point to where they're kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I do from here? Another thing about taking care of yourself, this is when people, I don't think, talk about really enough, because we always talk about making more money. But, well, like, a part of your, financial loving yourself, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people will say, like, oh yeah, go make more money, build wealth, all of that stuff. But something that, well, and then there's also the whole, like, live within your means. But the thing about having good habits financially to make it to where you're not mentally uncomfortable on a daily basis. And sometimes times get tight, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when times aren't tight and then you make times tight because you just have bad habits. And I am not like some perfect angel by any means, but it's part of like taking care of yourself and creating a healthy brain space. Because if you're creating anxiety in your life and you're just you're just creating disruption and you're not allowing yourself to get ahead because you won't even let yourself have 5 seconds of peace, whether it's financially, physically, anything. And you do that to yourself. And then the big kicker there is the more that our bad habits start building up and going against ourselves, it's almost like we need extra to get back on track. Something I've considered, especially when it comes to like fitness and exercise, is you're not going to fix 10 years of bad habits in 10 months. That's normally just not how that works. Like, if you do not take good care of yourself and you have not been taking care of yourself, you're going to have to do that really do that for a while before you're going to see that kind of go away. And it's not to say that like you can't have progress happen quickly, but if you've just been not doing it right for a while, making a couple little quick changes is not necessarily going to be it. Like, you're really going to have to get selfish, because you have to really understand what it is that you even need. Because there's a lot of just traditional things that people will say you need to do. Go on a walk. I will agree. I'm on one right now. It's great for you. You should totally do that. But you can go on a walk every day, and if you don't address anything else in your life, you might have some nice legs, but I don't know what else that's going to do for you. And I don't know, the fresh air can help calm you down, but it's just, you can't fix every single area of your life at the same time. Like, we're not just going to be perfect, but realizing, so there's like, I think it's 8 pillars, and I can't necessarily recite all 8 pillars. I could probably list off like 6, but it's kind of just like the key components of life, like financial, religion, emotional, physical. And I kind of look at those and check in frequently. And I like to do that as a self check-in, because those are the main components that are really going to shift how your daily existence is going. And sometimes when I do those check-ins, I realize like, oh, I'm the problem. There's little things that I could be doing. It's so easy. And you do have to be very honest with yourself in order for that to work. Because if you're not going to be honest with yourself, then it won't work. Been there, done that one.
Okay, I filmed this clip and then I went to a solid core class and I feel way better now. So I'm filming it again because instead of talking about this for 3 minutes, I feel like I can talk about it in 30 seconds. Go through this. These are my examples. I have 3 different ones here. And you just write all the categories. Google the categories. They're professional, contribution, relational, personal development, spiritual, emotional, physical, financial. Half of them are external, half of them are internal. You can do more research to figure out what this means, or I'd happily just make a whole video explaining it because, yeah, but I'm not making this an hour long. So anywho, go through, fill them out, and if you put a bunch of information and you feel like you're just doing too much, that's okay. You might be doing too much in general, and that's also okay. So just put it all on there, and then afterwards, just don't be a critic while you're trying to be creative. Just go in there and put it all down, and then afterwards, stop, dissect it, and be like, what seems to be the biggest one affecting me? Or which one of these can I easily change so quickly that will make big changes in my life? Those are two different ways to look at it. And also, this is a good example. of one I did here is you can just take like a highlighter and highlight the key points, because you probably are going to put a bunch of stuff there. Or you could be somebody who puts like one word, which like you need to just find some more up in there to put on that paper. But yeah, put it down, put it on paper, write your problems down, write them on paper, write your good qualities, your bad qualities, your goals, just put it all on paper so that way you can see it and it can get out of here. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, because I would love that so much. It would make me so very happy. Have a good night.